Good afternoon and welcome to one of the most beautiful locations in Europe. This is the Algarve region of southern Portugal, almost at the very tip of the continent. This is the scene here at the Portimão International Circuit. As you can see on the screen, we're just a few moments away from the first of our three finals this afternoon. Good afternoon, my name is Ian Silvestre and I am bringing you the live commentary of the fourth event of the 2016 CIK FIA European Championships. We have three finals this afternoon. As you can see, we are going to get underway first up with the Original Kart Junior Final. 72 drivers from all around the world racing here this weekend. We're down to the best 34 to race over 17 laps or just over 25 kilometres. Our first final. We also have the CIK FIA Academy Trophy, their second of three rounds. And we conclude with the Direct Drive Original Kart Final later this afternoon. Well, as you can see, it's a beautiful day here in Portimão, southern Portugal. 27 degrees, almost a top of 30 degrees. Beautiful sunshine, barely a cloud in the sky, apart from the one that makes a fool of me at the top of the screen there. But certainly nothing that is going to give us any precipitation here this afternoon. Thank you for watching us live all around the world on CIKFIA.tv. We started the championship in very different conditions. SA, the Normandy circuit in northern France, before moving to Zuera International Circuit outside Zaragoza in nearby Spain. The previous round of the championship was held at the magnificent new Adria Karting Raceway, just outside of Venice. This is the third round of the junior category, but the fourth event of the series. And we will conclude the championship on July 31 at Genk in Belgium. So the karts are on the grid. We are expecting a start in around about 5 minutes' time, or a little bit less actually. They will push start into life and roll into life. A big crowd here this weekend. And the crowd is certainly building as they make their way into position. A few VIPs here this weekend, one of which in the paddock is none other than the five-time world motorcycle champion, Mick Doohan, who is here watching his boy Jack race this weekend. He is a VIP, he is a celebrity, he's a legend. And he's up there with the likes of Giacomo Agostini and Valentino Rossi. Ironically enough, he never actually raced in Portugal. But it's great to have the five-time world champion, Mick Doohan, here at the circuit here this weekend. We spoke to him, we chatted to him just a few moments ago. Mick Doohan, 5 times world motorcycle champion. Welcome to Portugal. The weather's almost as good as sunny Queensland back home.
Yeah, I'd say it's better here now, but no, it's great. I've been to Portugal many times, and this part of the world is superb down here.
Mick, let's talk about the OK category for a moment. As the president of your national federation, Australia was one of the first countries to embrace the category. It must be great to see the Euro champs racing the same regulations.
Look, it's great. You know, we're a slightly different engine with the DVS engine, but similar. You know, I think the format's great. It's good to see it here, how popular it is, and then the academy class is going so well. And it's just so close. And really, that's what it was all about, just bringing some parity back to the sport and giving it back to the competitors rather than the engine builders. And everyone needs to support all, but you know, if we can grow the sport, then the other side of it will grow also. So, you know, the people who are running the class at the moment are enjoying it, and hopefully it'll only grow. It's year one.
You're here in two capacities. Of course, your boy Jack is racing. It's his second time here in Europe as well.
Absolutely. I'm here in one capacity, really, as a nervous dad. So, you know, absolutely, it's his second time here in Europe, the first in this the European Championship round. But yeah, it really, again, to come out for him to have a look, you know, he runs well back in Australia, but it's a different level here, as is all international competition, whether it be a ball sport or motorsport. But so it's a good eye-opener for him, and equally it's good for me to come and have a look what's happening out here.
The weather for the Queenslander here in southern Portugal is almost as good as it is back home. That was Mick Doohan, 5-time world motorcycle champion, a living legend amongst the paddock. He can barely walk 5 minutes 5 metres without someone asking for a selfie or an autograph. Quite a few VIPs, of course. We've got the 6-time F1 Grand Prix winner, Ralf Schumacher, here running his KSM Schumacher racing team as the junior karts are pushed into life. We had F1 Canadian Grand Prix winner Robert Kubica at the last round. Of course, Jarno Trulli, Monaco F1 Grand Prix winner. He's a regular at CIK European events these days. As we get ready here in the sunshine for the first of our 3 finals this afternoon. This is the grid. The Frenchman Victor Martins starts on pole alongside mixed countryman young Oscar Piastri. Teddy Wilson and Moitza Din on the second row of the grid alongside Watt and Jewis. Watt is the championship leader. Keneally Hauger, Isaac Blomqvist and the Moroccan Semi Taufik share the 5th row of the grid. Caio Collet from Brazil alongside Antonio Serravalle, the Russian Balantsov alongside Wito. Hampus Eriksson, younger brother of Marcus Eriksson, Sauber F1 star, and the Frenchman Adam Ateki, Shvetsov and Rasmus Lin, the American David Malukas and Alejandro Lajoz Lopez. Julian Henrion, who had a heat win yesterday, starting out of grid number 21. Have a look at grid number 27. That's the Spaniard David Vidalis. He won the last round of the championship at Adria in Italy. He starts way back on the, let's see, the 14th row of the grid. A lot of work to do this afternoon. Michael D'Orlando from New York, the United States of America, on the last row of the grid, scraping through into the final, courtesy of a 17th place finish in the pre-final. Well, this is the scene in Portugal. We are fired up and ready to go to see who will take victory here this afternoon. As we mentioned, Vidalis won the previous round of the championship in Adria. He will need a miracle to win this afternoon, but it's not impossible for the Spaniard in the 208 Tony Kart. There's the front row of the grid. Victor Martins for the VDK Racing Team. There is number 218, awesome Oscar Piastri for the Ricky Flynn Motorsport Team, the reigning junior world champions, with the American Logan Sargent. On the right of your screen, the outside of the front row of the grid, Teddy Wilson from Peterborough in England in the 209 CRG, and then the Malaysian Moitza Din, the Daniel Rossi got the second row of the grid. We're ready for this one. This will be an absolute scorcher here in the sunshine of Portugal. They come up to the line. We have another formation lap though. If anything, that will help settle the nerves. Certainly ours here, also in the commentary position. So Martins in the 274 Parilla powered Cosmic for the VDK Racing Team. The Belgian team that won here 12 months ago, we will speak about that. Kenny Roosens won this event in the corresponding KF Junior class in a Parilla powered Cosmic a year ago. And once again, they start on pole with the Frenchman Victor Martins, of course, VDK Racing. In the past, their drivers have included the likes of Stoffel Van Dorn, the McLaren Honda F1 driver, who took the VDK Racing Team to second in the World Cup half a decade ago. RFM world champions 2 years in a row. Their boy Oscar starting out of grid number 2. They've also got Finn Keneally on the 4th row of the grid, along with Semi Taufik, the reigning WSK Supermaster Series champion, the Moroccan in the 255 Vortex powered Alonso out of grid number 10. So let's try this one again under the control of the pole sitter Victor Martins. Watch Wilson on the second row. Yes, he is on the second row, but he's on the inside. That is critical here. Piastri, will he try and take Martins around the outside, or will he try and slot into second ahead of the Brit Wilson? Kian Jewis, the 272 Forza Racing kart on the 3rd row of the grid. Let's watch them. They come up to the line. We go green. Piastri immediately looks across to the inside. He's back to 3rd, maybe 4th. Watt has gone down the inside. Piastri's trying to find a lane inside, but he's been hung out to dry. He's back in 6th or 7th place. Watt down the inside. A good start by Wilson. What about Kian Jewis? Jewis up into 3rd spot from the 3rd row of the grid. Wilson, the Brit, in second, but it's Victor Martins, the Frenchman from the pole, who leads them for the first time here in Portugal. Kian Jewis up the inside, sideways, past his countryman. So we've got CRGs running third and fourth, Wilson, and I think that's Dennis Hauger. Indeed, it is the Norwegian who's made a sensational start. How about Dynamite Dennis from grid number 8? He's up into third. A brilliant start by the Norwegian. There he is just ahead, the 209. That is Teddy Wilson from England. Victor Martins leads them across the line for the first time. Second place is Kian Jewis, Hauger, Wilson, Taufik, Colette, Watt, Keneally, Wito, Blomqvist, Muitzadin, Bulantsev, Eriksson, Piastri is back in 14th. Can you believe the run of bad luck for this kid? From the outside of the front row, he got shuffled wide. He couldn't find a lane down the inside. He's tucked in there behind or in front of the French driver, Adam Ateki. Behind Hampus Eriksson, a lot of work to do for the driver from Melbourne if he is to win this one this afternoon. Victor Martins for VDK Racing, he's your leader. And he looks behind him to find Kian Jewis, Dennis Hauger, Wilson, Taufik. So Taufik now becomes the first of the Ricky Flynn Motorsport drivers. The end of the second lap over that slight bump. Keneally having a look at the back of the inside of the championship leader, Noah Watt. Watt is vulnerable. There goes Hauger. Head down behind the steering wheel. Still has time to look behind him. Kian Jewis sideways. The yellow flag is out. That may well be for William Alatalo. Well, Piastri's got a lot of work to do, but he's going about it the right way. You just seen he set the fastest lap of the race early on, but let's see if he can recover from there. So the track has now been cleared. Victor Martins on screen. Indeed, we have lost Alatalo and Pierre-Louis Chauvet, the French driver. We're down to 32 runners. Vidales, winner of the last round of the championship. He's made a pretty good start, 27th. He's up to 20th. There's Hauger. There is Taufik on screen, the Moroccan. Hauger in the slipstream. Look at Kian Jewis, looks behind him, head down behind the slipstream. Hauger, here he comes. He's going to make a move. Here it is, the Norwegian, up the inside. Not this time, he thought about it though. The move will come, he's super quick. As the Canadian in the similar CRG sets the fastest lap of the race. Kian Jewis runs wide, but he'll get a good run on the exit. Hauger is on the charge. He wants to win this one desperately. He won the pre-final at the last round in Adria, but only finished in 6th place. He desperately wants to get up onto the podium here this afternoon. He wants to win it. The Norwegian Hauger currently in third. The French driver Martins with a lead of 0.7 of a second. Up the inside, Dennis Hauger. Kian Jewis couldn't defend. Oh, has a big touch with Teddy Wilson. Kian Jewis is out in the dirt. Taufik goes through, has a look behind him as he goes past. Watt moves up a spot. There's Kyle Collette, Finn Keneally. What a race this is turning out to be. Martins had a lead of 0.6 of a second. It's out to 1.1 seconds now. But second place is the man from Norway, Dennis the Menace Hauger. Taufik is third. Noah Watt, the championship leader, in fourth. We have a look at the replay. Up the inside, Hauger nicely done on Kian Jewis. That was for second. From there, it all went downhill for the Englishman. He's down in 15th. Wilson tried to follow him through. They touched Vega tyres. Airborne was the Brit. In fact, both of the English drivers losing a heap of time. Watch Semi Taufik go through. And at the same time, he has a look behind to say, what's going on there? Taufik, the Moroccan, up into third. He sits on the tail of Hauger, who has a brief look behind him. He'll just glance that RFM Alonso kart. Muitzadin up to fourth spot. There's Caio Colette, the boy from Brazil, on the podium in the previous round in the slipstream of Finn Keneally. Well, already we are on to the 6th of 17 laps here in Portimao. Piastri has only recovered one position. He's in 13th. Ironically, he's just ahead of Teddy Wilson, who was involved in that big accident a few moments ago. So let's cap the order for you. Martins, Hauger, Taufik, Muizzadin, the Malaysian, into fourth. Head of Noah Watt, the championship leader, Finn Keneally, Colette, Hampus Eriksson, Ville Huito, Bolantsev, Isaac Blomqvist, Antonio Serravalle, the driver from Toronto, Canada. Then it's Piastri, Wilson, and the French driver Adam Eteki rounding out the top 15. Martins starting to skip away. He's got a lead of about 1.4 seconds from this battle, which is Hauger and Taufik. They come on to the start-finish straight. Muizzadin in fourth, then it's Watt. Keneally looks behind him. Immediately, he's got the Brazilian on his tail. He just got a glimpse of the bright green cart. The Frenchman, Adam Eteki, number 265, into 13th. So Hauger with the ever so slightest of gaps. Martin, still your leader. He's got a gap of 1.7 seconds from this battle. Dennis Hauger, he was setting off after the leader Martins, and we thought we'd have a race on our hands for the lead, but he's going to have to catch up nearly 2 seconds and fend off the attack of Dennis Hauger. Semi Taufik, I should say, right behind him. So a super international field we've got at the moment. The Frenchman leading the Norwegian, the Moroccan, the Malaysian, the Dane, the Brit, the Brazilian, the Swede, the Finn, and the Russian Pavel Bolantsev rounds out the top 10. Taufik on screen. An adjustment on that 125cc engine. Dennis Hauger, of course, he's running the Perilla. Watt in 5th place. Kyle Colette behind him as well. Colette, who picked up a 4th place in the pre-final at the previous round in Adria. So Kian Jewis still down into 14th. What could have been for the Englishman. Still has time to recover. Still got 10 laps of this final remaining here at Portimao. Taufik still shadowing Dennis Hauger as the race starts to settle down. The gap is now out to 1.9 seconds from Victor Martins to Hauger and Taufik, who puts the left rear Vega on the ripple strip. Muizzadin in the Danilo Rossi kart doing a great job in fourth. Watt, Colette, Keneally. There's Eteki going through. Julian Anjoyon also in the bright coloured kart. Michael D'Orlando, the American, from the back of the grid's made up a few spots. In fact, he sits just ahead of the driver from Argentina, Guido Moggia. The gap, 2.3 seconds. Well, they're going to have to work as a team, kind of like the peloton in the forthcoming Tour de France, if they are going to have any hope of catching the Frenchman Victor Martins. The 274 Perilla-powered Cosmic Kart as Taufik now makes his move. The Moroccan goes through on the Norwegian for second spot. Hauger fights back, and Taufik, his front nose cone kisses the right rear Vega of the Norwegian. Here comes Muizzadin. He's going to be right in the slipstream of Taufik, and he knows it. Gets a wide run, watching down into turn number 2. Muizzadin for third. Thinks about it. He'll have another look into turn number 3, too far back. Watch him get the run on the exit in the Danilo Rossi kart. Victor Martins, your race leader. He's disappearing up the road. He's now got a gap of 3.0 seconds as Hampus Eriksson, now up into 8th, sets the fastest lap of the race. Hauger, amazingly, still holds on to second spot after Taufik, for about 10 metres, went into the vice position on the circuit. Muizzadin couldn't quite capitalise. Noah Watt, the championship leader, is honing in on them though. As the sportsmanship flag comes out for the American Michael D'Orlando, let's have a look at the replay. Taufik down the inside. It looked as though he had the move done. A little bit of overcorrection on the exit. Hauger got a good run. They went side by side through this next corner, and watch the front nose cone. Oh, right rear Vega out in the dust. Let's see if that has dislodged the front fairing of the Moroccan, as Colette, you just got a glimpse, slides through on the championship leader, Noah Watt, the boy from Brazil, now up into position number 5. There he is. Watt back to 6th spot. Then we go back to Hampus Eriksson doing a great job for the Ward Racing team. Finn Keneally, the Brit, in 8th. Muizzedine over the Ripple Strip. Taufik desperately wants to recover that position. I'll be very interested to see if that has dislodged his nose cone. It doesn't look to have done so, or done any damage. There is Hampus Eriksson, the young Swede for the Swedish Ward Racing team. And get back to Finn Keneally. So Hauger goes through with 7 laps to go. Where is the race leader, Victor Martins? He's 3.5 seconds up the road. He's surely on his way to victory, emulating Kenny Roosens, who won 12 months ago for the same VDK Racing team in the same Perilla-powered Cosmic material here in the sunshine of Portugal. Hauger from just outside Oslo in freezing cold Norway still defends from the Moroccan Taufik, who wrapped up the WSK Supermaster Series at Adria earlier in the year. The first Moroccan ever to win a CIK WSK International Karting Series. Muizzedine, the Malaysian. What an international field this is as Taufik runs a little bit wide. Eriksson now up the inside of Noah White. Has to pull out of it at the last possible minute. Muizzedine, will he try the inside? There goes the Malaysian on the inside of Taufik. Semi Taufik is now off the podium. Kyle Collette watches on in 5th place. He will surely gain out of that as they both lost time to Hauger, making those moves. The Brazilian in the Birol Art. Here comes Taufik to respond. He thought about it. Into the turn 8 hairpin. Down the inside, Semi Taufik. Over the Ripple Strip. Kyle Collette says, thank you very much. I'll take 4th place as well. Hauger now with a little bit of breathing space. Can he possibly do anything about the race leader, Victor Martins? It was 3.8 seconds last time round as we take a look at the replay. Taufik down the inside, he has to defend. Muizzedine turning in nice and early. That was a brilliant move by the Malaysian. He dislodges the Moroccan off the podium. Hauger, Taufik, now it's Collette. Watch Collette, the very cunning, intelligent young Brazilian driver. 3rd in the Junior World Championships last year. Has made the switch over to the Birol Art team for 2016. And he's already been on the podium in the Euro Champs so far. Hauger in 2nd. The gap to your race leader, it's now out to 4.2 seconds. Barring a catastrophe, they will not catch the Frenchman. He's on his way to victory here. Hauger under increasing pressure. This was the move a moment ago where Taufik retook the Malaysian over the Ripple Strip. Kyle Collette followed him through. Sits in 4th place, 1 position off the podium. Look at the lead. It's the length of the main straight. No chance of them gaining an aerodynamic advantage from the leader. They can barely see which way he's gone. Taufik over the back of Hauger again. Kyle Collette watches on. Hauger still defends with 3 laps remaining. Makes an adjustment on the carburetor at the same time that he was turning right. How cool is this kid? And I don't mean that metaphorically. Yes, he's from Norway, but he cannot defend the Moroccan. Taufik up the inside. Collette goes through and takes both of them in the one move. What a brilliant pass by Kyle Collette. The boy from Brazil is just brilliant. He puts the Birol Art into position number 2. Hauger still on the podium, albeit only just. Taufik looks behind him. Then it's the Malaysian Muizzedine Hampus Eriksson. The Swede, look at the gap. 4.6 seconds last time round. 5.2 seconds. Barring a catastrophe, he will win as Muizzedine goes down the inside of Taufik. Hauger thinks about going on Collette. Not this time. Hampus Eriksson is right there. Brilliant stuff here, the 3rd round of the Euro Junior Champs here in the sunshine of Portimao, Portugal. I can tell you that Piastri from the front row of the grid is fighting back, but he's only as high as 9th as Collette goes defensive with a lap and a half to go. So the French driver leads the South American, the Brazilian Caio Collet, and the Norwegian Dennis the Menace Hauger in position number 3. Muizzedine, Taufik, Eriksson, the championship leader. Watt is back in 7th, head of the Finn Ville Uitto. Piastri, Pavel Balantsev, Finn Keneally just outside the top 10, but one ahead of David Vidales, who's driven a sterling race to be in position number 12 from grid 27. The final lap, Martins, he's on his way to victory. The gap is nearly 6 seconds, but let's look at the battle for the second and third steps on the podium. Over the ripple strip goes Hauger. That's going to cost him. He's back to 4th. He's back to 5th. He's off the podium. Collet in 2nd. Muizzedine, the Malaysian, now up into 3rd. Taufik back to 5th, under pressure from the Swede, Hampus Eriksson. Martins, forget about it. He will take the checkered flag. A bit of a love tap that time. They're side by side, Taufik and Hauger. Hauger's off the podium. Let's see if Muizzedine can challenge the Brazilian Collet. You just got a glimpse of Martins going through. He's on his way to victory. The checkered flag comes out for Victor Martins. He will win. Caio Collet looks behind him. Martins wins here in Portugal. We wait for 2nd place. He goes wide, Caio Collet. Oh, did he get it? Just did he get it by 0.032 of a second. Abdul bin Ghaffar Mustafa Muizzedine, the Malaysian, will take the final step of the podium in 3rd. Dennis Hauger from Norway just misses out. He's 4th, ahead of Semi Taufik, Hampus Eriksson, Noah Watt, Ville Uitto, Oscar Piastri. He'll be disappointed coming home in 9th after starting from the front row of the grid. Pavel Bolantsev rounding out the top 10 ahead of Keneally, Vidales, Sedavalle, Adam Ateki, and Petra Patacek. Let's give the Czech driver some credit from the back of the grid. Petra has come home 15th. A replay of the start. Victor Martins, this was as close as they got to the Frenchman. From here, they barely saw which way he went. It all went wrong for Piastri in the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd corners. He got shuffled out wide and never really recovered. Was as low as 14th as Hauger started to charge his way through. We thought he would actually challenge for the lead. This was Wilson and Jewis, the 2 Brits, colliding with each other. Finishing way down the field, Wilson in 16th, in fact, and Kieran Jewis in 25th. Taufik and Hauger put on a great race. Intelligent drive from Muizzedine, who shadowed them. He made the aggressive, clean moves when he needed to. Hauger defended brilliantly, but it wasn't enough. He did finish 4th. That is valuable championship points. A great move by the Malaysian on the Moroccan. Muizzedine on Taufik, who did immediately fight back. Watch this, Caio Collet, the Brazilian. He's like a snake in the grass, just cunning and pounces. He takes the 2 in the one brilliant move. Caio Collet coming home to finish again on the podium. He's right in contention for the 2016 championship now. Muizzedine was still off the podium at this point. Hauger over the ripple strip, that cost him as he tried it on Caio Collet. Fortunately for the Brazilian, he didn't lose too much. Hauger looked behind him, only find Taufik and Hampus Eriksson side by side going down the hill, but it was too late. By then, Victor Martins took the checkered flag for the 2nd year in a row. The BDK Racing team have won. Caio Collet taking 2nd spot by 0.032 of a second. Abdul bin Ghaffar Muizzedine Mustafa, 3rd here today. He will be on the podium. What an international podium we've got for the 3rd round of the Euro Champs. Victor Martins, the Frenchman, has won from the Brazilian Caio Collet, and the Malaysian Muizzedine, 3rd place. Hauger, just off the podium, but again, valuable points for the Norwegian. The Moroccan Semi Taufik, 5th. Great drive by Eriksson. Watt, he did lead the championship coming into this round. Let's see where he comes out when the dust settles. Good drive by the Finn Ville Uitto. Piastri will be devastated with 9th place, just starting from the front of the grid. And the Russian Pavel Bolantsev rounding out the 10. Well, I expect we're going to see a delighted Frenchman on the podium in a few moments' time. We'll see if we can get a smile out of the normally reserved and quiet Brazilian, Caio Collet. And I'm sure the Malaysian, Abdul bin Ghaffar Mustafa Muizzedin, will be delighted with third place. So stay with us. We will have the podium presentation here from Portimao in Portugal in just a moment. What a brilliant race that was as we prepare for the podium presentations here in the sunshine of Portugal. Victor Martins won it by a country mile. The gap was almost 6 seconds. A super international podium. Second, the boy from Brazil, Caio Collet. And third place, Abdul bin Ghaffar Mustafa Muizzedin. He'll be delighted with third place on the podium this afternoon. The VDK Racing Team, how about that? 2 years in a row. They won it last year with Kenny Roosens. The Parilla-powered Cosmic, they've won it again. Again, in a Parilla-powered Cosmic. We wait for the drivers to arrive, complete with Vega caps, of course. The Academy driver carts are being prepared down on the grid. Their final coming your way in just a moment. Of course, following that, we will be live with the OK Direct Drive final. So we're just waiting for the drivers to arrive here in the sunshine of Portimao, Portugal. So the VDK Racing Team have won it for the second year in a row. the drivers very happy up here on the podium. What a great scene this is here in Portimao, Portugal. Super international podium. Commiserations for the drivers who didn't quite make it. So we'll be underway with the podium when we're ready in just a moment or two. What an international podium. The French flag, the Brazilian flag, and the Malaysian flag. Three very delighted drivers. A great crowd here. Thank you for watching us live wherever you are all around the world on CIKFIA.tv. The Academy Trophy final coming our way in just a moment. Beautiful scenes here in Portugal. Always a very popular stop on the calendar here at the Algarve International Circuit. Just awaiting official confirmation. It's the World Karting Media up here. Luigi. We're ready for the podium presentation. We'd like to call in third place from Malaysia for the Danilo Rossi kart racing team, Abdul bin Ghaffar Mustafa Muizzadin. Second place for the Birol Art racing team, the boy from Brazil, Caio Collet. And the winner for the VDK racing team for the second year in a row from France. Let's hear it for Victor Martins. And representing the winning team, VDK Racing, for the second year in a row, Jean-Christophe Rousseau. And we stand by for the national anthem of France. So there is our podium. Third place, Abdul bin Ghaffar Muizzadin. Second place, Caio Collet, and the winner, Victor Martins. To present the trophies, it is with great pleasure we ask the clerk of the course, Mr. Luis Azevedo, to present the third place trophy to Abdul bin Ghaffar Mustafa Muizzadin. Mr. Luis Santos, the member of the Motorsport Federation of Portugal, to present the second place trophy to Caio Collet. Mr. Paulo Pinheiro, CEO of the Autódromo Cartódromo Internacional do Algarve, to present the winning trophy to Victor Martins. And Paulo will also present the winning trophy to the VDK racing team, Jean-Christophe Rousseau. As the girls step in to present the flowers, and we step in for a quick word with the drivers. First of all, Abdul bin Ghaffar Mustafa Muizzadin from Malaysia. How do you feel? You're on the podium. It's a long way from Kuala Lumpur.
Yeah, it was a really amazing feeling, you know. I was so lucky, but we got a speed. Yeah, it was amazing feeling.
Congratulations, second place, another podium again. Bravo, Caio Collet. Well done, mate. Fantastic drive, second place again.
Yeah, it was a really difficult weekend, but at the end everything went okay. And I want to say thank you for my team, Birol Art, and yeah, man, they did a perfect job.
Obrigado to Kyle Collette. And the winner for the second year in a row, Victor Martins from VDK Racing. En anglais. Fantastic, you've won for the second year in a row for the VDK Racing team.
It's a very, very good race, and I work hard for be here, and I want to thank my team, my family, and my mechanic. It's a fantastic weekend.
Fantastic, fantastic, Victor Martins. Our podium for the juniors, Abdul, Kyle Collette, and Victor Martins. Stay with us, the Academy Trophy in just a moment.